Well, Susan, this is a real pleasure having you with us tonight. Certainly, after meeting you at the Canadian Tour event, I was so excited when you agreed to be on the show here and be on the Golf for Women blog. So, thank you very much for taking the time tonight. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So, we heard you called the Wizard tonight by Andrew, and I think Stina called you that first. So that's quite a flattering name. How do you feel about that?
It's funny watching the show. People kind of underestimating me, and as the show progressed, one by one, each person was kind of, I was gaining more and more respect, and it's kind of nice being called the Wizard, I guess, because it just shows that, I can play as well as any other player out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it was a very good compliment for me.
Well, even in 2 weeks ago when the show was on, it was Sophie who said, when she had to pick a challenger to compete against, she said, "I'm not picking Susan. She's just too tough a competitor."
Yeah, actually, I watched that episode, and I think the better compliment was when Lori said, Susan, she doesn't know what fear is yet, and that's a dangerous player. That was actually a better compliment for me, because my goal when I play out on the golf course is to play fearless shots and, to play with a strong heart and just try my best. It was such a nice compliment to hear from a very experienced and well-known player.
Yep.
Such as Lori.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, there's probably one golfer in the world who has no fear whatsoever, and we all know who he is. So that's a pretty nice comparison right there. Okay, so let's talk about tonight's show. It was probably the most drama-filled show that I can remember seeing in the whole series. I guess it's been building up. But that, from breakfast on, you were sort of in the sidelines kind of watching this whole show. From what I can tell, you really didn't seem to be involved. What was your perception about what was going on?
I really didn't want to get involved, and I really did feel bad for Christina, because it seemed like everyone was kind of gaining up on her. But in a way, I'm sure it taught her a great lesson, and, it's just sometimes when you're so focused, you don't really see what you do. Mm-hmm. And just by hearing it from other players, I'm sure she got a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it certainly looked like the mind games were part of the challenges. With Christina starting in the morning, and then with Sophie, it just seemed to be a different behavior than in previous shows. Do you think the tension's getting to the ladies?
I think just because, it's down to 5 players, there is more tension, and, every shot counts, and there's a lot of pressure, and there was a lot of money involved because of the season-long points, the package, the Dick's Sporting Goods package.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if, Lori was calling stuff out because she wanted to start drama, or because, I guess she's very observant, and she wanted to make the other person feel uncomfortable or play mind games. I don't really know what her call was, but I think it really affected both Christina and Sophie, as you can see from the shots they hit.
Yeah, afterwards.
But I thought it was really, they handled themselves very well, and, Christina, she's very strong-minded, and it just shows, she didn't let it affect her. Maybe it did inside, but it didn't show outwardly, I don't think. Well, she might have looked teary-eyed and stuff, but, she held herself, and she has a very strong heart, and I was proud of her for how she handled herself.
That's true. Let's talk about some of the shots that went on tonight. The draw fade shot around that wall. You went for the high risk both times. Was it the money or the immunity that you were more interested in going for it?
Oh, I just noticed, they had the points wall, and I was always the last one, so I was like, all right, it's either, everything or nothing. You have to go for it. So I went fixed both times because I had nothing to lose. I had to just try to get as many points as I could. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm so good at those shots now. I don't know why I didn't pull it off that day.
Yeah.
I'm a much better player now, and I have those shots down.
Yeah, well, I certainly saw that when you were playing the Canadian Tour up here in Vancouver. You tied for first and went into a playoff. You don't get there by not being able to play golf. So you obviously have a very strong game.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the chipping challenge. I asked this question to Lori, and it just looked to us, the people watching TV who aren't there, that chipping just didn't look that hard. And you were called a wizard as you stood up to chip. You actually made 3 out of the 5 positions, but a lot of the ladies, struggled even more than you did. What made it so tough? It didn't look tough from where we were sitting.
It was slightly uphill. Like, you can't really tell from the camera view, but it was slightly uphill. And the 2 shots that I missed, it was where it was really uphill. And I actually tried a new strategy. Instead of using my normal, sand wedge or pitching wedge, I went for like a 7-iron just to like bump and run it because it was really uphill. And it just didn't work. I should have practiced those more, but yeah. Yeah.
When you were in the elimination challenge, you hit some beautiful shots. They just were long, but they were bang on the pin.
You know what? Yeah, I saw it on the TV now because when I was at the place, like, you can't really see because the sun is shining in your face, and it's kind of downhill and it's really bright, and you just couldn't see where it was landing. But everybody kept saying, oh my God, that was a perfect shot, and it just kept rolling.
Yeah.
So I knew I had the right club. It's just, even when I saw it on TV, that's exactly how I envisioned it. You wanted to hit it on the green, but I guess you just have to hit it before the green. I think Kim did that. She hit it before the green and it rolled up, and that's a strategy you have to do. But I hit the green and it rolled over every time.
Yeah. It was just a bit long. So you've gone through further than a lot of people on the show expected you to. You did get eliminated, which is always a sad thing, but you held your head high. It was cute the way you walked away from the
I was
camera.
like, praise the Lord.
So is there any comments you want to make about the experience that you want to share with the audience?
The big break is seriously a big break, and it's an experience you'll never, ever get unless you're on the big break. And, I learned so much about myself and about other players and just, how to handle myself under pressure situations. And I am a much stronger player after the show. And it's nice to see that I got a lot of respect, from being known as the inexperienced, player to the chipping wizard.
Yeah, that's right.
My friends are all here. I was watching it with my friends for the first time. So it's my high school friends. It's our high school reunion right now. And they're all here. Say hi,
guys. That's terrific.
Yeah, so we're all here. So it was really special, even though I got eliminated,
Well,
I learned a lot.
It happened to the best of them, Susan. So, yeah. Well, but you did really well, and it was a pleasure watching them, and it's also a pleasure watching you play live. So I hope I get to do that again. And if you want to chat again next week and tell people what you think of the shows sitting on this side of the elimination wall, then we'd be thrilled to have you join us again.
Oh, of course.
Best of luck, and you take care, and we'll chat next week.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night.